My name is Chris Ebu. I am the managing consultant of New Ways Consulting. I have worked in the bank for many years, and I trained with Faith Foundation Entrepreneurship Scheme. I'm a member of Institute of Management Consultants, member of Institute of Credit Administration. Not only that, I'm a chartered accountant and a director of Center for Public Service, Productivity and Development. I've been in public speaking business since 2002, and I'm very concerned about how the employees of Nigeria will be empowered, and that is why we held a seminar in Kaduna in August 2008 about employees empowerment under the chairmanship of Dr. S. Joel. In the past, people see employees as those that must live a wretched life, those that must suffer in poverty, not wear good shoes, not dress very well just because they are employed. But in a short while, we are going to see and listen to how you can be a millionaire while in employment without stealing or corruption. And we believe that this will help all employees to be empowered. Enjoy it.
We've heard about youth empowerment, women empowerment, but little is being said about employee empowerment. Is that not so? Yes. So people do not talk about how can the employee be empowered. We in New Ways believe that a weak employee will produce a weak organization. A weak employee will produce an ailing organization. And because of that, we have researched into how to empower employees, how to make them somebody so that the organization can be also somebody. To ensure also that Nigerians attend Vision 2020, which they have, which is making Nigeria one of the top 20 economies of the world. It means that we have to develop the concept of empowering the employee who will drive the economy. Because for the economy to be driven, the people that is driving it have to be healthy, have to be financially buoyant, have to have shelter over their head. Is that not so? Yes. So we have developed a concept of empowering the employee that will drive a top economy and a world-class economy. The model of the employee empowerment has 4 modules. The model of this employee empowerment has 4 modules, as Dr. Joel has rightly mentioned. One of them is you can be a millionaire while in employment, but then we put a caption there: millions without stealing and corruption. Say it. Millions without stealing and corruption. Say it again. Millions without stealing and corruption. Because when anybody can have a million, but how you get it also matters. Then we also have to talk about how to get to the top of their career. And we have also a coach there. The top is not crowded. Say it. The top is not crowded. Again, the top is not crowded. Yes, because in most organizations, you find out that you may have 500 persons in level 1 to 6, but level 14, 15, 16, you may have only 10 or 12 people. That's also. So you see that the top is not crowded. Then we will look also how to rent a home before you know it. As you have mentioned, housing is a right. And then a coach we want to put there is that Nigeria have enough land for all. to build. Say it. Nigerians have enough land for us to build. Again. Nigerians have enough land for us to build. Then lastly, we'll be talking about retirement training, guidelines for starting your own business. And the course here also is that start with what you have. Say it. Start with what you have. Again. Start with what you have. So these are the 4 areas we are going to look at. Now moving ahead with the fourth one, you can be a millionaire while in employment. What do you say? Millions without stealing and corruption. Again, millions without stealing and corruption. Fine. Now, as we move further, we look at personal financial planning. One of the difficult things an employee has is saving. No matter how much you earn, you find out that the more you earn, the more you have to spend. There's a law in economy that says marginal propensity to consume will always be higher than marginal propensity to save. Is that not so? Yes, we did it in secondary level economics, even in higher school. MPC must always be greater than MPS. Now, you now say, under this circumstance, how can you be an employee and still have a savings? I have been an employee. I started working with salary per month of 100 naira. Yes, 100 naira, around 81. So when I'm talking about saving or being a millionaire, don't feel that maybe this guy does not understand what you are saying. I don't understand. I also know that at times your salary cannot reach you up to 2 weeks. Even while I was in the bank, with what I was earning, riding car, having car loan and so forth, as a graduate, assistant accountant, my salary hardly reached up to 2 weeks. But then, will you give up? Will you recline to faith? It will not be your portion. Now, we have to say, how do we get out of this problem? Yes. One thing I have also observed is that when most people earn money, they pay their tailors, their carpenters, their transporters, children, teachers, and so forth. And at the end of the day, they spend more than they are earned and also get indebted. And you may say, because your salary is small. I will tell you that it's not. Saving and financial planning is a culture which you must imbibe before you leave here, or which you must imbibe after this lecture. Why do I say so? Because you find out that it doesn't have to do with how much you are earning. I have seen bank managers, I have seen directors who are indebted. Why is it so? You find out that if you are living in a house where you are paying 5,000 naira a month as a level 8 officer, by the time you become a level 15 or 16 officer, you will not like that house again. You will want to move to a place you will be paying 20,000 or 30,000. Do you understand? And thereby making that your additional income not to be sufficient again. If your child is in public school, for instance, by the time you get up, start earning higher, you put him to private school. And as I'm talking now, we have private school of 20,000 a month. We have private school of 200,000 per term. Yes, in Lagos there, we have a lot of private schools. Is it higher schools? If your child or relation is in higher school, we also have higher schools where you pay millions, like APTI Unyola University. You are the fees there is in millions. So what are we saying? That means that what you are earning does not have to do with your saving ability. So moving forward, you have to set a goal, determine your own mission. Some people don't have a goal, they don't have a mission. What is your goal this year? What do you want to accomplish? Your goal in your first year? What is your goal in 5 years' time? What is your goal in 10 years' time? What is your goal in 20 years' time? And your goal have to change as the years get by. Why do we say so? Some of you are working today. Some have, as I'm looking at your faces, some have 10 years to go. Some have 15 years. Some 5 years, and so forth. So what are your plans? We see also that lack of goal is a problem most people are facing, which makes them to spend everything they have. But most experts in financial planning agree that you should at least set aside 10% of your salary monthly. Minimum 10% of your salary every month. Then after that you start spending the rest, which is how many percent? 90%. And if you remove it first, you will find out that you will make do with the 90%. You will assume that 90% is your salary. Assume you are receiving 10,000 a month. You remove 1,000, immediately you get your salary. You know that your salary is what? 9,000. We are going to also talk about what you will do with that 1,000 you are removing, or 10,000 you are removing every month. What are you going to do with it? Because if you put it in the bank, it's as good as it's on the way out. Because money in the bank, at any little provocation, you can go and take it again. Somebody can come and say his child has headache, or his child is leaving from school, or this and that. You will go and take it and spend it. We are going to look at that. But then, I also want to say that why many people do not save is not because they cannot save, but because of lack of goal. There is a townsman who, once we were in the village, he told me that he's a shareholder of Nigerian brewery. I said, how? He said every day he drinks 8 bottles. 8 bottles of beer. That is what makes him a shareholder. He said there's no day he doesn't drink up to 8 bottles. I said, why are you able to take care of your family, children with that? He said he buys rice and garri in bag and keep for them. So you can imagine that is how he takes care of them, buying garri. And meanwhile, the vehicle he's using is a very old vehicle. But thank God he's a mechanic, so he goes with his tools. So anywhere the vehicle stops, he will repair it. But just imagine a bottle of beer at 150 times 8. If you times it by 10, it's 1,005. Because after drinking, you may still buy for your friends and so forth. So somebody spending 1,500 every day, and yet tomorrow he will say he is poor. And when he retires, he will say he is poor. Why? Lack of what? Goal. He doesn't have a goal, which is private. How do we make money? Money making is like taking tea. Money making is like what? Taking tea. So write T, T-E-N. Write T-E-N. The first T there means time. The first T is what? Time. You require time in order to make money. And all of us have 24 hours. Is that not so? Yes. Whether you are a president, a director, a clerk, we have what? 24 hours. So how you spend that 24 hours matters a lot. If you sleep 8 hours every day, 8 hours every day, by the time you are 60 years, you would have spent 20 years sleeping. You would have spent how many years? 20 years sleeping. So you have only 40 hours. So that means that time is very, very important. How you use your time. And the next one is energy. Energy. You need energy to make money. And the gold medal, a gold medalist that won in the last Olympics, who run 9.6 seconds, 100 meters. What did he use? Energy. Nothing more. Energy. And all of us have it. He didn't have to pay money to get there. It is energy. So again, how you spend your energy matters. When you spend a lot of time ruining your body, drinking excessively, smoking, and so forth, you deplete your what? Energy, which will also affect you later in life. But many people do not care because you need energy to make money. Then the next A is activity. You know, I said making money is like tea. So the next A is what? Activity. Activity is what you do every day. Watching TV, eating, going to work, and so forth. So how you spend your time? Well, the nature of things you do is your activity. So it matters a lot. So if you spend 5 hours a day gambling, it also means that you are involved. Also, if you spend 5 hours every day watching films, you are involved in activity. But that activity is what? It may not get you to where you are going. You find a lot of people today in the office whiling away their time. Whiling away their time. Involving in activities that do not contribute to the job, activities that do not contribute to their personal development, activities that do not help them in any way. So all these do not help in any way. So why do some fail to manage their time? Some people fail to manage their time. Why? One of the reasons why some people fail to manage their time is overconfidence. When you are doing a work in the office, you feel that you can always do it. It will not take you time. So you leave the job. At the time they will be asking, where is the file? Is it ready? You will be very busy trying to put the job together. But you forget that that job maybe has been given to you maybe 2 days, 3 days back, and you keep it. So overconfidence that I can always do it is very easy. Or you have a project you want to do, what you want to achieve in life. Like Dr. Joy have mentioned, writing books. You know you have a talent that you can write, but you will feel that you can always do it. The more money you can have, whether in the office or outside, the more valuable you will be. The more valuable you will be. Then, the last why people do not manage their time well is lack of planning. Lack of planning. You come out in the morning, you have no direction of what you want to accomplish in that day. So before leaving your home, it's recommended in the prior day, plan the next day. When I get to the office, what do you want to accomplish? So that you manage your time very well. I have a friend who is a chief accountant in a startup. He comes to the office, he knows how many files he wants to treat, and he treats them. And by the time he finishes treating his file, nothing in the file again. He uses his time to do things that will benefit you. But the thing is that nobody comes to his table and says there's a file that has not been treated. He can write feasibility studies for people, he can do whatever he wants, as far as the job does not suffer. Because the truth is that most jobs at times does not take more than 30% of our capacity. Is that not the truth? Yes. Most jobs do not take more than 30% of our capacity. For instance, I got to a level when I was in the bank that my job was just to countersign vouchers. So you can imagine. Another person raises a voucher, I will countersign. So it's not up to 10% of my capacity. So then I have to use my time wisely. At times, writing papers, also preparing accounts for people and so forth. Because if you don't use your time very well, you will use your time in a useless way, either to gossip in the office, to chat away, and things like that. So you use your time to put yourself in problems. So we must use our time wisely. Now, as we move forward, we now say, we remember we are talking of how you can be a millionaire while still in employment. Is that not what we are discussing? Yes. In a ministry, we are involved in pre-retirement training in that ministry. And that pre-retirement training, among those that were to be retrenched, among the 33,000 that were retrenched during the last administration, 33,000 people, 55 came from that ministry. And one of the participants told us that out of that 55 that were retired, in 3 months, 11 of them died. In 3 months, 11 of them died. So, what do you think is responsible? Now, no, just raise up your hand. You will talk. What do you think? Yes.
Hypertension.
What? Hypertension. Another person. Yes.
Fear of tomorrow.
Fear of tomorrow. Yes. Another person. Probably. Yes. Another person. What?
Poverty.
Poverty.
Lack of plan.
Lack of plan. Yes.
Lack of plan.
Yes. Lack of plan. They have been in the place for 20 years, 30 years, and they believe that it will continue. Every month you receive money and you spend. Every month you receive money and you spend. And well, after all, the money is not enough. So why should I save? So it keep doing. So the moment the letter was served, it's like putting somebody who doesn't know how to swim, throwing him into Atlantic Ocean. You know what will happen? You will get drunk. So now, initially we mentioned that you need to save 10% of your earning monthly. But I also put that you should not just put it in the bank, because money in the bank may not be a good way of saving. You should invest it. And one of the best ways of investing is investing in the stock market, but do not gamble. To invest in what? Stock market. Most offers, public offers, they use to advertise, will tell you that you should consult the accountants, stockbrokers, lawyers before investing. But most people invest without advice, without any advice. And when you invest without any advice, it's like doing what? It's like gambling. According to the Financial Standard of August 25, 2008, it says that last week alone, people lost 645 billion in the stock market. You know, we are having bear market now. Bear market. Price is going down. 645 billion in the stock market. So that means that when you are investing and you don't have any advisor and you don't also know how to engage in the stock market, it could also spell doom to you. For instance, some of the people who bought Transcorp when it was initially offered at 7 naira or thereabouts, today it's about 1 naira something. So you can imagine how much they have lost. So moving ahead, we now say that you don't need to gamble. You must know your plan in investing. There are two plans. It's either you are investing for long-term growth or you are investing for short-term growth. And each of them have different strategies. If you are investing for long-term growth, then that means that you have to go for a company that is stable, a company that has track record of paying dividends annually because you need income as a worker, a company also that has stability in management, a company that has stability in operations. It must be a blue chip company, which you are sure in the next 10 years it will be here. You understand? But then, if your objective is short term, you want to speculate on the market, you want to buy shares, sell, take profit, then you have to have entry strategy and exit strategy. When we talk of entry strategy, we are saying when to buy. You must know when to buy. For instance, now we are in the bear market. When there is a bear market, the prices are going down always, and you will watch. And when a share or a stock is at all-time low, that will be the best time to buy. For instance, now if you take the stock of Access Bank, for instance, as at this month, as at August 21, Access Bank is 12 naira 13 kobo. And Access Bank is 12 naira 13 kobo. And 12 naira 13 kobo is lowest this year. The highest this year in 2008 is 25 naira 50 kobo. So if you analyze very well, you see that this is the best time to buy because this is all year low. It means that somebody who bought it when it was 25 naira 50 kobo have lost more than half of the money. So that's what we are saying. You must know when to buy and when to sell. Then when to sell means even if you buy at 25 naira, you must have your exit strategy. Exit strategy is knowing at what percentage of loss are you going to offload. Exit strategy means knowing at what percentage of loss are you going to offload your share. Some people might say, if I buy a share, it will drop up to 15%, I must sell. If I buy a share, if it increases up to 50%, I must sell. Do you understand? So that is knowing exit and entry strategy. So when you know both, you know when to buy and when to. Some of those shares now are no more in the stock exchange. Like all kinds of things, 1978, Hago, and so forth. They are no more on the list. So they have lost their money. So we don't need to lose their money. But if you know how to buy, like in 2002, I bought First Bank when it was when it was 16 naira. So not 2002, 1999. In 1999, I bought First Bank when it was at 16 naira. But more than double. I was then at 16 naira. You understand? So, and that means that I do not know when the thing has grown. And so coming on, how to be a millionaire while in employment. I first learned from 1999 when I attended a course on financial planning that you can be saving 10% every month. So then I save 10% of my time. Immediately I go and give to the stock broker. So at times 20,000, 25,000. And it is after that I come back to myself and my wife. We now sit down to talk about how to spend the remaining money. So it took time before I know that I have become a millionaire without knowing. Because when you are saving 20,000, first in the share market, you will see that what you have is 20,000. But due to the dynamism in the stock market, shares you buy 5 naira can get to 20 naira. So you can now see that before you know it, you have become what? A millionaire.